Manager report.
Sure. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The first item on the report is an update. The Assessor's Office is preparing for their cyclical inspections. Cyclical inspections are mandated by the Massachusetts Department of Revenue and require the reassessment of all properties every 10 years to ensure accurate data and fair property assessments. There will be a total of 1,500 parcels inspected over the next 3 years. 500 properties being inspected this year, which will start in the next couple of months. So I do understand that a letter was posted online regarding these inspections that caused some alarm with the residents. I think that some folks perhaps thought that there was another full reevaluation going on, but this is just the routine cyclical inspection. So the Assessor's Office has redrafted the letter, which I reviewed today, and a new one will be posted clarifying why we're doing these, and that this is not a full reevaluation, that this is 500 parcels. In addition, those folks that are one of the 500 owners or less than that, those folks will be getting a blue postcard mailed to their home. Okay, so if you get a blue postcard, that means that your property has been selected for the cyclical inspection. There was some question about, do folks need to let the inspectors into their home? There is no requirement to let somebody into your home, but if you do not, certain assumptions may be made about what the condition of your home is. So I regret that that letter went out and caused the alarm that it did with the community. Hopefully this helps to clarify where things are with that. Does anyone have any questions? I know that this was somewhat controversial. I didn't know if anybody...
I was surprised about the controversy because the letter, again, said nothing unstandard and nothing that was not in the practice of Board of Assessors for decades. And the heightened alert, but maybe because of the tax issue in town, or maybe just the people's distrust of everything government these days. But it was, to me, it was over the top, people threatening and people taunting, just see if they get into my house. Like, you don't have to let them in. It should have been said. But like you said, Madam Town Manager, then they make certain assumptions that may or may not be true, that they can't do, but that'll go on the assessed values. And, again, the process has been unchanged basically for decades.
So, folks, if there is a 2018 Subaru Impreza Black with license plate IWAE28, that is Joshua Burlow from Vision Government Solutions, and he is supposed to be there. He's not casing your home or anything like that. So that is the primary goal of why we put that out online, so folks know that there's a vehicle, but hopefully this will clarify it. Next is the agreement between the PEC, the Public Employee Committee, and the town of Lunenburg regarding health insurance is expiring at the end of June. I had a meeting with the chair of PEC last week informally to discuss the process, and they will need to convene their committee, and there's going to be new members on that committee who probably aren't aware of.
Who's the chair now?
Mary Foyle.
Okay.
So Mary Foyle, I think, has been the long-term chair, but there's going to be a lot of new folks. So we're going to proceed with the new agreement, and that'll be before this board eventually. Next is kind of piggybacking on the public comment. For those in the community that aren't aware, the Joint Committee on Ways and Means has scheduled their FY26 budget hearing focusing on local aid for next Monday, March 24th at 11 a.m. That hearing is out in Amherst, Mass, but is also hybrid. Testimony may be submitted in advance to the committee. Currently, I am planning on attending that in person. I do think that showing a physical presence in the room is important. That may change, but that's the goal. But folks at home, you can write a letter to the House Committee on Ways and Means yourself, and I would encourage you to do that.
May I, Mr. Chair, through you to the town manager, may I ask that you provide the Zoom link to this meeting to the board?
Absolutely.
I'll be at my job, but I will try to keep it on while I'm working to hear it.
Will it be recorded? Do we know?
I don't know the state's kind of process for whether those are publicly available after the fact. I will say that there is, in some of the organizations that I belong to, especially the Small Town Administrators Association, that they're generating some advocacy out of that group. They're collecting our positions and they're bringing it forward. So hopefully, folks are listening to the serious conditions that we are in this year. Capital Planning Committee is set to meet this Thursday. I know we've kind of talked about capital a little bit, and that they need to weigh in. So that is happening this Thursday. So this is the final kind of stamp of the capital plan. Yesterday, the staff enjoyed a St. Patrick's Day lunch at the Adult Activity Center. I want to thank all the staff who were able to attend, but in particular, I want to thank Deb Goodsell and her staff who helped set up. And I also want to publicly thank Kathy Clark of Lunenburg Flowers, who, when she heard that this event was happening, decided to donate centerpieces for all the tables. And I just really think that that's a nice gesture to show the staff that folks in the community appreciate them. So that really, Kathy, that's really great. Next is opioid settlement funds. So the town, as the board is aware, is part of the opioid class action lawsuit, and we have been receiving some of the funds as different defendants are settling. We have right now just a little north of $225,000, and so we don't have currently a expenditure plan for those funds. So I have started a discussion with both chiefs. They would like to explore the prospect of hiring a clinician, which was originally underway with the grant, right? So can we use these funds to restore that effort? And so I'm going to raise that up to the Opioid Settlement Massachusetts team and see, and bring that back here as well. But I just wanted to update the board on that.
Mr. Chair. So this has come up before, when the funds were first awarded, and at my understanding is that we can, but I want to raise a strong concern about that, which is, the reason why I think this court case was successful was because so many people died. That the opioid crisis caused a lot of pain in a lot of families. And, we joined a lawsuit because I think we saw available dollars and a way to kind of get some recovery from the people who created this crisis for us. My request is that the government, that we do not find a way to utilize all this money or even the majority of it, but that we find an expenditure plan that helps the people who live in our community that are suffering with opioid addiction to help them get treatment. I know that the idea of, bringing a clinician on staff, that, the concern that I have is once the money dries up and then we get used into having it, it becomes an operational, permanent kind of thing, or it's a loss of services for the community. I certainly see the value in a clinician on staff, but I think that for the family who's out there right now that's suffering, to know that we can assist in some kind of way in helping their loved ones get treatment, to me, this money should be utilized for treatment and to help out the community, again, who's suffering through all this tremendous loss, all this heartache and pain. I would like to see the funds used to support the people who are actually living with this crisis. And not, I know that there's a benefit to the town at large, but I just think there's a lot. If we didn't have so many people die, we wouldn't have the money. And so I think we have to go to the source here, in my opinion.
All right. Let's see, now up to project updates. So the teen room is finished, just punch list items left, but pretty much finished. I went over there last week and it looks really good. So that's very exciting. They have finished our chimney today, our second chimney. So the chimney crew is now gonna move over to Ritter and the roofing crew comes here to Town Hall. The Adult Activity Center kitchen renovation project. So as They had a little hiccup last week, so as they went subgrade below the slab, they found a drain pipe that was rotted. They needed to upgrade the size of that drain pipe for the grease trap, but now they have an extra problem. So that caused a little delay. That there's folks coming out to kind of put a sleeve in it and see if that can be a solution. And then once that's fixed, the plumbing can be completed, concrete poured, and flooring completed as well. So the kitchen is expected to reopen beginning April if there's no more unforeseen problems. The secondary kitchen